All right, episode 10. Nope, lied. Huh, lied. I almost counted wrong again. Episode 9. Consolidation and maintenance of power. We're still in it. The impact and successes of foreign policies on the maintenance of power. So Cuba is coming at this from a different position than Germany, right? Germany is a global power, a rising power. Cuba is still a very dependent country. So we're going to address foreign policy in a very different way. Let's get right into it. This should be short, sweet, and to the point. Here we go. Here's Here it is, right? Um, so one of the major kind of ideas of foreign policy and how that leads to how Castro is going to run his country is the policy that Castro has on the United States, right? So shortly after he takes over in '59, he's going to start to expel American industry from Cuba, and he's going to that's going to anger the United States, right? The U.S. corporate arm is going to be very upset with Castro expelling some of these corporations from some of these very entrenched industries they have in the Cuban economy. Um, and then he makes the big boo boos, right? Where he goes and he's going to nationalize the sugar industry, and that's going to completely eradicate U.S. involvement in Cuban economy, and totally sour the relationship between the two countries. The United States is going to become very resentful towards Castro for doing this. Castro realizes that he is a dependent country and that Cuba really doesn't have the means to be without a major trade partner. So, as he expels the United States, he's going to invite in the Soviet Union, and he's going to sign a trade agreement with Nikita Khrushchev. That nationalization of the industry, along with expelling U.S. corporations from Cuba, is going to be a major motivator. I'm going to use the word motivator for Eisenhower to plan the Bay of Pigs, right? The Bay of Pigs goes along with the new look and the Eisenhower Doctrine and all that stuff we talked about when we talked about Cold War in the Americas. But he's going to use the CIA to train Cuban exiles. So a lot of those Batistanos are going to be a part of this group. They're going to train Cuban exiles in the United States. They're going to arm those Cuban exiles to go back into Cuba and take out Fidel Castro. Eisenhower thinks he's going to hand this over to Nixon because Nixon's supposed to win the next election. But John F. Kennedy wins the next election. He's a little bit reluctant to sign the Bay of Pigs, but the Joint Chiefs of Staff convince him that it's the right move and that they will successfully take out Castro. So Kennedy signs the Bay of Pigs. And it's an unmitigated failure for the United States and those Cuban exiles. Most of the Cuban exiles are going to be killed during the Bay of Pigs invasion. That is going to lead Castro to say, I need protection and I need it immediately. So he reaches out to that new trade partner and he is going to ask for defensive weapons to be sent to Cuba to make sure that another version of the Bay of Pigs does not happen, because Castro is fearful that the next time it's not going to be the CIA, it's going to be the United States military, and he's not so confident that the Cubans are going to be able to handle that. So Khrushchev starts sending over defensive weapons. Kennedy says, if it's defensive, it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. Just make sure it's not offensive weapons. Khrushchev says, yep. Castro says, yep. Shortly after, they start sending offensive weapons to Cuba in the form of nuclear warheads, ICBMs, and medium-range intercontinental ballistic missiles. And that's going to give, that's the start of the 13 days in October, also known as the Cuban Missile Crisis. So that foreign policy is very, very, very important to things that are going on inside of Cuba. In terms of a little bit more of a local policy, he is very pro Marxist Leninist ideological movements in Latin America. So he's going to help out in Argentina. He's going to send aid to Africa, Somalia, Libya, and their revolutionary movements. Che is also a very big proponent of that. He is going to travel the world and fight revolutions, and he's going to, his life is going to be taken in Bolivia for the exact same reason, that ideological kind of correlation. He's also going to help in Nicaragua. which is going to put him in a very indirect conflict with the United States because he supported the side that the United States was trying to take out. The United States supported the Contras in the Nicaraguan revolution, right? So there's going to be a little bit more of a conflict there. And then also, last thing in terms of foreign policy, he is a major part of the non-aligned movement. He's not one of the original members of the movement, but again, because of his natural leadership skills, he is going to lead a couple of different non-aligned meetings throughout the 70s, I think, all the way up into the 80s, I want to say. But yeah, that's foreign policy and how it's going to affect Castro as a leader. Yeah. All right, that's episode 9. I'll catch you back with episode 10, where we take on some of the economic policies, the cultural policies, the political policies, and how those policies then impact minorities slash women. This is going to be a bigger episode, so 10 should be a bigger one. All right, hope they help. See you later.